Okay. So in this part we're going to need 4 lengths of 1.6 metres, which is 63 inches. Okay. Putting our net pots, and we'll make our first mark at 125 mil, which is roughly 5 inches, and then we go every 250 mil from there, so it's roughly 10 inches apart. I like to work on the top of this pipe where the printing is, because it means I can keep things straight. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 lots of 6 will have 24 net pots. Thank you. To ensure that all the marks are in the centre of the pipe, we can keep everything straight, I just use a piece of string, and then I can line it up on the centre where the printing is on the pipe and just mark an X so I know they're there. Thank you. So make sure the pipe's straight up and down with the printing, and the drill is straight up and down. We've drilled the 6 holes in one pipe. We'll just use a pocket knife to remove all the swarf from around the edges. So those will be good. This is the most tedious part of it, drilling out these holes, cleaning them up. We've got our 4 1.6 metre pipes with 6 holes now drilled in each and cleaned up. We cut one at 60 mil. Which is say 2 3/4 inches. Now we make 3 lengths at 250 mil, which is we said it was 10 inches roughly. 250, 500, 750. Thank you. The baffles, we're just using a bit of roof and gutter sealant. Let's put a bead, a nice sized bead on the bottom of them, nice and thick, like this. Making sure this is straight up and down, a lot judging by the printing. Put it on the inside there, line it up like that, and we'll just let that dry for 24 hours. Once you've got your baffles in place, put a good bead of elastic around just to hold them there so that they're not going to come loose in 6 months time and create a problem. Now that, as you can see with that net pot in place, is now level with the that'll keep the solution level up there, level with the bottom of the net pot. which is where we want it to be. You can see the way we've drilled these pipes, the first one being at 125 and the last one having a longer end there. If we turn them one around as we go down, then that will offset the location of the net pots. That'll triangulate the planting, so they give them a bit more space. So we'll just leave these now for overnight or something to set. Thank you. G'day. So we've glued these baffles in place yesterday, and they've dried now. So we're good to go on these pipes. Are going to hold our net pots. Here's the tools we're going to use. We've got some roof and gutter sealant. I like to seal up a few things. We've got our clear PVC cement, some screws, a battery drill with a drill bit in it, about 3.5 mil, so I can put that through. A driver drill, texter, some hole saws. I'm going to need a 19 mil hole saw to drill a hole in one of these pipes to work out where we deliver the nutrients through the pump. A spirit level, tape measure, a square. I like to use the squares, the lines on this concrete to help line things up. Over here we've got 4 end caps. So these are 40mm 4 end caps, 2 40mm tees, 2 40mm elbows down the end, 8 of these downpipe retainers, a bit of poly, 13mm, 12mm poly, 10 of these 90mm elbows, 24 net pots. We're going to use one of those timers. We've got our low voltage 750 litre in our pump. We've got some poly fittings there. We've got like a valve thing and a T. I need 3 elbows. I haven't got them yet. I'll pick them up later. And then these pipes which we cut at 1.65. This one's 1.42. These are 2 at 350 mil, 2 at 400 mil. One of these at 60, an end cap, and 3 of these at 250 mil, and we're good to go. Thank you. Here we go. We're going to glue this together. Put a good wipe of glue around here. We don't want any leaks later on. And it's clear, so we can clean it up later. Push that down on there, and it'll dry pretty quickly, about 11 seconds I think. We'll do another one. In order to line these up, we want this to be square, so you've got these little seams here, you can line up with that. Also just press them down on the concrete to keep it straight. That'll be fine, thank you. So we'll make a bunch of pre-assemblies, assemble a few things together, and then once we've got all these sub-assemblies together, then we'll make them, we'll put the whole thing together. These are the vertical pipes that will join the pipes where we're going to have the net pots in. We'll join those together. Right, I'll turn it. Do it again. So we've got those three together. That's the sub-assembly. Now we'll start to build the stand. We'll come back to them in a while. 2 elbows. Glue them on the 400mm part. These don't have any water going through them, solution going through them. These are just for the stand. So hold them down so they dry, otherwise they'll pop back off. Two like that. Put these on the 350mm. So we put 2 end caps on the other end from where these T's are. Ready? Cool. These 2 end caps go on the uprights, which are 1.65 metres high, I think. G'day, so we've glued these baffles in. G'day, so now we're ready to start assembling the system here. We've got our 4 pipes, we've got the holes cut in them, the baffles are glued in place to hold the nutrient level at the right level at the bottom of the net pots. And we've got our 2 uprights, so we're going to glue these on today. And this is how we're going. Starting with these pipe retainers, and I like to put a little bit of silicone on the bottom and the back of them just to hold this together. So then using these the 25mm, so inch screws, self-tapping. Just line that up. Let's have a blunt one. So line that up in the middle of the pipe, push it up so it's nice and tight. Oh. So now for the next one, we've got the baffle at that end on the top one, and the baffle at this one for the next one. We'll just line it up with these droppers to make sure it's where we want it to be. Just put another one at the other end too, so you know it's going to be fixed at the right place. Make sure that's in the middle. So our next one, you put the baffle on this end. Take these off, put them here. then the last one, put the baffle down here. Don't make a mess. I'm sweating. It's hot. Yeah. Okay, that's our 4 horizontal grow pipes are in place. Thank you. So now we'll glue this, glue these droppers in place, whatever you want to call them, the things that pipes that drop the levels down. So we've made these all equal on each end. So this is where the water solution is going to come in. It's going to come down like this and out that end. So we'll glue these in. Make sure these are square, that line's level with the top there. Put a good wipe of glue around here. More glue's alright, you can always wipe off the excess without being, you know, ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it's easier to move it into position if you've got plenty of glue on there. If you haven't got enough glue, it starts going off pretty quick and dries. There we go. vacuum in. So before gluing it, just make sure these baffles are horizontal. Should be good. Thank you. Stand together. I'm using the garage door as a something to work against because it's going to give me a square, no vertical. We need one like this. That's going to be straight up and down, so should be fine. I think. Yep. So we have one like that, and one like this. That'll give us our stand. Man, that glue went up quick, eh? Stop there. We stuck like that. You can pull it apart, but it's difficult. Not impossible, though. Cool. So that then is our stand. Okay, you'll have to stop. I have to stop this and okay, so we've got the stand in place, got Darcy's feet there, and we're ready now to glue this. I'm going to put the camera down, so this is how it's glued in place. Now what I like to do is measure between the uprights and make sure that the measurement coincides with the pipe. Then I'll put glue a pipe across the back. That'll give it a bit more stability. Okay, so we'll glue this back rail into place. That'll tie everything in here. Now then, what we should do is measure between here and here, and then make sure that distance there is the same, and up the top of these pipes as well, and then we can fix everything with screws, and we know that everything will be square. Thank you. So I've got 1.43 from the closest part on this pipe here. So I'll make sure this is the same. Need to hit this across. Too much. Three. And we'll bring this in. .43, close enough. So now, we can make sure all these margins are the same. This distance is all the same. We'll probably move this down a little bit. Start on one end. And then put a screw through there. Put a little bit of silicone on the screws. And then fix it through here. You see there's like a moulding mark there. That's my line there. I'm going to put it. Put some weight on the back of it there, young Darcy. So stop filming. Stand behind it. So now this is all together. You can see by looking down this pipe that baffle is in a pretty horizontal position, and this bottom one, and the screws go through are higher than that level, so they've got a little bit of silicone on, but they won't leak. Everything will be fine. It's all glued together. You can see here, come around here, you can see that these margins are roughly even, pretty close to being even on each end. This end as well. The margins there are pretty close to being even. This is all square and straight, and so that's that point. Thank you. Yeah.
Head west.